Did I hit record? I did hit record. All right, three, two, one. What's going on, Dragon Ball Super Players? It's Mardo from Sigma Gaming, and I have Anthony Hernandez with me. Everybody knows him as the Dragon Ball Super God. Others know him as Toby. I know him as Toby, and also a good friend of mine. So what's going on, Ant?
Hey, everything's great. Glad to be on this podcast, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think you guys and girls are gonna have a nice group of topics to listen into, and yeah, I guess we can get right into it.
Well, there's a few things. I have a couple of topics we want to talk about. And one of them was, earlier, not earlier today, but like I think 2 days ago. I think Eggman, the Eggman, he dropped a actual video and he was talking about some controversial stuff that's going on with the life mechanic. And I'm not too sure exactly what the whole ordeal is, but he was talking about that people should pick life in an order of 1 through 8 instead of picking random, because when you pick
hmm
randomly, it tends to imply that you're probably cheating. Now,
Yeah,
I know it's kind of ridiculous. Like, hey, it doesn't always mean that you're cheating, but I understand both sides of the story, right? Personally, to me, I could care less. I already picked my life from 1 through 8, so it doesn't really affect how I play.
hmm
And if you pick at random, that's cool. I'm not going to assume you're cheating. Um, unless you're playing Shinron, right? If you play Shinron, you look through your life. Then I'm like, man, maybe he might be cheating. But if you're cutting in and you're shuffling, whatever. And I guess you can mark your cards, but like, you gotta mark all your cards. It's kind of weird to
yeah.
mark
That
it.
that would be a whole nother ball game because then at that point, it's not even about life. It's about cards that allow you to draw, cards that allow you to search through your deck. Then you have all this manipulation if it's about marked cards, which is, I think, something that Eggman really wanted to talk about in his video, or at least that's what it seemed like it was geared to. It was more so, hey, this is math. I'm going to show you guys that it's the same percentage all around. And if you pick 1 through 8 all the time, you have basically the same percentage math wise to get those key cards that might be in your life area.
I
Now,
mean, and he's not
mhm,
wrong. I mean, if you're talking math, he's not wrong.
yes,
But
he's actually completely right.
but like, what happens when the card you probably needed that's in your life is the last card? You're not gonna get that card if you're doing 1 through 8. You know
No,
what I'm
you
saying?
won't.
But
And that would
th-
just be RNG essentially at that
yeah,
point.
you're never gonna get that. Like, and it happens to me a lot. Like I said, I play 1 through 8. Now, sometimes I'll lose a game. I'm like, damn, look, that's the card I needed. It happens a lot. But also, like he was saying, people remember all the good, they don't remember the bad. So, and it's just true. I remember more of my luck sack than I do than my ass whippings.
No, it's absolutely true, and I feel like Eggman's video was a interesting, take on the situation and very accurate in certain aspects. Now, the one thing I disagreed with, and it's what a lot of people are missing the whole point, and it's the fact that you have the option to choose. So basically, Bandai designed the life area to again be us in a sense, you're not supposed to know what's in your life area unless you have like a wish leader or you're able to use a search ability to go through your deck and kind of like, figure out, all right, I have 2 copies of this. That means I have 2 copies in the life area, et cetera, et cetera. But the whole purpose of the life area is it's like your destiny. You lay out your life area, it's random, it's shuffled. Your opponent has the right to cut or even shuffle your deck before you start presenting your life.
Hold on,
And from
I didn't mean to cut you off.
yeah.
Are you supposed to shuffle your life?
Well, it depends on any card effect. So,
Oh,
example,
okay. I thought when you
let's
were laying it out
say
for the first time,
I
you had to shuffle. I was like, I never did that. Holy crap!
uh no, like it's an example. I use my wish leader's effect, or I use Shenron's ability, and I'm like, all right, search through my life area. So I go through my life, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah, that makes more sense because
yeah,
you got knowledge, so you definitely want to shuffle.
yeah. So
Just
you have
to
to shuffle up
prevent
well.
cheating.
Your opponent. What I like to do is I like to actually like branch off the cards so I can separate them as best as I can for my opponent, so that my opponent, if they were watching me shuffle, or any inclinations of any foul play, you can kind of limit it by shuffling the life area well. But again, if let's say your opponent hypothetically was marking their cards, because that seems to be like the ideal discussion, then regardless if you're selecting your life in order, there's multiple effects that can allow you to take life, or multiple effects that allow you to dig through your deck so that you can still see cards that would technically be marked. Like in Magic the Gathering, we had a player, it was this champion, and he didn't there's no life area in Magic. It works with numbers. You have actual life, and once you hit 0, you lose. So the way the game worked was he actually marked his cards as in his like specific key cards. So at the top of his deck, every draw step he has, or
You know,
every
I was
effect.
gonna say that too. I was
Yeah.
like, if even if you mark your card, you can still do it from in your
Yeah,
deck. It doesn't.
exactly.
I mean, if you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat. She's cheating all the way.
Exactly. A cheat.
Let's be serious. I think this is idiotic. Like anybody besides me play Pokemon? Don't they have life in Pokemon?
Yes, they
I've
do. In
never heard of
fact,
a
they have
case.
prizes. They call prizes.
Yeah, I never heard of a case where they were like, "Hey, you guys got to pick the cards in order because to prevent you from
No,
from cheating."
Pokemon is
No,
chilled. You pick wherever you want to pick. It's up to you.
I don't know. I think it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like I said, it doesn't affect me as a player playing the game, but I just think like people are taking it way too far. Like, guys,
they
let's
are.
relax, play the game. If he's cheating, let him cheat. Catch him.
Well, yeah, no. At this point, if someone is cheating, my thing is, and this is the way I look at it. I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, cheating's fine," or I'm gonna condone it,
Of
because it's
course
not.
not. Of course not.
If someone is cheating, or if someone has the intent to cheat, you're not going to persuade them not to by fixing a specific order in life, because the game, that's only one aspect of the card game. The main aspect of the card game is to draw as many cards as you can, since there is no hand size limit, and be able to make your most powerfulest plays, or basically whatever your deck's supposed to do. You want to make it as consistent as possible in order to execute. So regardless of the life area, if we're playing a regular game, if a person is marking their cards will still come up in a certain order that would allow that player to manipulate them. So the whole idea of, oh, when you allow a person to randomly select from their life, they could be sniping. And this sniping term is essentially, oh, they already know what they're getting.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, that means that they are cheating. And if they're cheating, you should probably call judge if you have any speculation. For example, if I'm playing against my opponent and I see them spread out their life in a really weird way, or if I see them kind of like glance, like I've had this in the past happen to me, where I'm playing against my opponent, and the way he's distributing his life, it almost seems like he's flicking his cards upwards to getting like an idea of what's in his life area. If I ever see that, I will call judge, or I will let my opponent know, hey, I'm not sure if you looked at your life just now, but I'm going to shuffle it up and I'm going to lay them down. Do you have a problem with that? No, yes, cool. If you do, judge. Like if you feel like your opponent is doing something mischievous, then you call judge and you solve it.
That
But
makes perfect sense.
yeah, but to actually say, hey, I want people to select 1 through 8 because I do it, and the mathematics say that it's the same percentage to get a card. And because I think this way, I want the game to be played this way. Hello, buddy, who are you? I'm sorry, Eggman. Great mathematics, great analysis on what the point you're trying to make. We're not arguing that your math is off. We're not arguing that there's some flaw to the logic you're using. No, you're just not realizing that there's choice. And if you want to misconstrue choice with cheating, which is two different things, if you think your opponent's cheating, call judge on them. Not
Yeah,
it doesn't matter about the
it's
life
like
area.
if he gonna cheat, he gonna cheat. Just catch him. That's it.
Exactly, which is so silly.
Just catch him,
you
man.
know
You know.
but the thing is, and the reality that I see in this situation is, and it sucks that I gotta kind of make it about myself, but the last event I went to, I played with Shenron, and actually the last few events I went to, I played with Shenron.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
oh yeah, I actually kept kind of making different versions of the deck, and it just kept evolving.
All right.
But outside of that, the deck has been doing very well. I'm not going to say the deck is doing well on its own. I'm playing the deck to the best of my abilities to make it execute well. And people keep seeing me in top cut in the finals, consistently, and they realize Anthony's playing Shenron. Interesting. Um, so when they see this, the individuals who believe that there's any mischievous acts, they're wondering, well, I wonder what he could be doing in order to enhance his percentage of making it to top cut so frequently, going in the finals so frequently. Well, he might be marking his cards. That's what the first thing people say. So it's like, all right, so this is not about necessarily the life thing. It's more about the idea that you feel certain players are marking their cards, and specifically you're gearing your attention towards me as a player. So talking about myself in third person view, it's like, well, we believe Anthony Hernandez is cheating. He hasn't been caught for cheating. He hasn't been, he hasn't been banned or anything related to cheating, but we believe he is because why is he so consistent? There's so many other good players in the game, and they're not nearly as consistent as this one guy. So they're believing that since I'm using the Shenron leader, that there is some type of manipulation in life, which comes to the whole taking life at random. They're like, hey, well, we've seen Anthony in the past take life at random. Well, maybe he's sniping. And that's what they believe. So then now all these videos and all these little drama pieces are coming up and surfacing as in, well, you know what? Well, we could reduce maybe the chances of Anthony topping or doing whatever he does by, hey, let's kind of instill this new rule. Now, obviously, it's not totally about me, but there's other players like Eric Hill and a few other individuals. Eric Hill actually made a video, and the video was him talking about why you should be able to select your life since it's well within the rules, and why he selects his life at random. He made a statement about being superstitious and
Yeah,
that
I
it's
think I've seen that.
choice.
I've seen that, and I
Yes.
agree. I mean, like I said, I don't take my life at random, but I know a lot of players do. My teammates, they take life at random. People that I play against in my local area do take their life at random.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
And you're
automatically
not going to
assume.
immediately be like,
Yeah,
hey, you're cheating. What you just selected number 2 or 3
I,
from your life?
I, I've
Nah.
I've played many card games with some of the greatest players, and I played with some of the worst players.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people are witches, and they'll top that god. It happens. Get
It
over it.
happened to me when I played against Danny Hype. And this is another known player that a lot of people believe that he's the cleanest player, and he is a clean player, but they don't associate him with any negative stigmas. But he select life at random, and in fact, he was able to top deck the key card he needed in order to beat me in one game. Am I gonna say, "Oh my God, Danny Hype, you cheated me"? No, I'm gonna say, "Hey, heart of the cards were in his
You
favor.
should
It
have though.
was his
It would have been
decision, his
hilarious.
choice."
The cheating motherfucker. Oh god damn it. Stacking witch.
Right? And obviously I'm like, damn, he got the one card he needed. He had literally this was the scenario.
What are
He
the
needed
odds?
a Zeno. He already had there was a lot of RNG factors. He was unable to use Zeno because it was in his deck still. And he was only very limited, like he only had one more turn in order to get the Zeno and reset the game. Had he not gotten the Zeno, he would have lost the following turn. He during the turn that I attacked him, the one attack that went through, which was a regular damage for him to take life, he picked out his life out of order, and it happened to be the Zeno. Now, he, of course, during this turn, he drew for turn and restood his energy and then looked at the game state. Had I not, let's say he would have never gotten the Zeno. Let's say he would have chosen order. It would have been another card, and that card would have never helped him. And then for his turn, when he would have attacked with leader, it wasn't a Zeno because he looked at the top deck after he played the Zeno and reset the game. He did look at the top deck just to see if it was the Zeno. So it wouldn't have been, and he would have lost the game. Am I gonna say, hey, Danny Hype, you cheated me? No, you didn't. You chose your life at random
I mean,
and it paid off for
if you
you.
kind of
He
think about it, it was your fault.
Yeah, it was my fault for actually giving him a card,
Yeah,
you know? But again, that was a situation where I didn't know what was in his life area. He knew what was in his life area because he was able to search his deck and he saw, wow, they're all in deck and there's only one in life. But if I don't draw for my turn the answer, I only have the remains of getting it from life. So at that time, he had, I believe, 3 or 4 life. So he had about a 25 to 33.3% chance of getting it. And he ended up getting it. The point was he got it, and then he was able to win the game a few turns following up from that play line. And,
It
you
happens,
know,
man.
yeah.
It
And
happens.
there's no foul, no harm. He ended up getting it, but it was his Yugi moment. The Yugi moment made a difference, and he was able to pull it through.
Yeah.
So it's a part of the game, and I feel that Bandai, they did this purposely so that they could give the players a little bit more. Like, you have more of a choice, you have more power within your game. Now, if you want to select 1 through 8 because you feel that it's more simplistic, you feel like it doesn't matter at all, which in a sense it doesn't matter, but you're eliminating the whole point that you have the choice. If you want to do it in 1 through 8 or 8 through 1, by all
I
means,
just
go for it.
I just
You
think
know?
that we shouldn't there shouldn't be a rule in the first place.
Yes.
That is my issue with it. I don't care for it, me as a
Mm-hmm.
player playing, but I also don't want to have a rule that you have to reinforce for something that you shouldn't have to do in the first place.
Exactly. Because if the main issue is your opponent could be sniping cards or marking cards, then that's a whole entirely other issue that has nothing to do with your life area. It happens to do with the
That guy
person
is
that
just
you're playing
scum. That's
against.
it.
Exactly. And if
Yeah.
you feel that way, then you call judge, and then you have the judge check their sleeves. And then guess what? The thing is, this is a whole nother little topic, I guess, but it's still related. Me personally, because of the role I play in the community and the type of person I am, especially the online persona, you
Yeah.
know,
The
I have
dumbass.
caused a lot of yeah. I have caused a lot of attention, and the attention, obviously, there is some plus, there is some positivity, but there's more negative
Yeah,
stuff
they'll
that
say
comes
it's
out of the
definitely more
attention.
negative than positive.
Correct. And through that time, I have been deck checked several times. I have had my sleeves checked more than twice in a tournament. I have had things come out of the ordinary. So
I, w-
every other good
I don't mean to
player,
cut you off, but I will
yeah,
say
go for it.
this, right? I was watching this stream um, when you were playing at the last event,
Mm-hmm.
and there were several times where they made you move your energy so people can
Mm-hmm.
see. And I'm cool with the judge. Hey, move your energy so we can see, and for the spectators, and I appreciate that for doing it.
Yeah.
But it was so annoying for me to hear the commentators talk about it. It was just like, bro, let them fucking play, dog. It
I
was
know.
so annoying.
Yeah.
And like I
And
said,
it's
I
deviating from the actual game.
correct. You're constantly distracting these guys from playing their game because you feel like, oh, you have some kind of OCD or it bugs you because the light's that way. Like, bro, what the fuck, man? Like,
You see, I believe that it had to do more so with me playing versus
I
that
believe
situation
I
occurring.
believe it too, but I'm not gonna jump to conclusion.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so I think for everyone listening to this, podcast, just of us talking about this specific topic, Eggman, if you're listening, it's your video was good.
Yeah, no
I
disrespect.
believe your math is spot on. There's no problems. It's a simple math. It's nothing complex. However, the point you were missing is you have the choice. If Bandai says you can choose a life when it's moved from any area, from your life area to any other area, then you have that right to choose. Whether you want to go in a line, whether you want to go every two, whether you want to set up your life in like a flower petal, because I've seen people do that.
That's kind
However
of
you want
weird.
to do it, do you, homie, or do you, girl, if it's a chick playing, you know.
Well,
Um,
overall, I enjoyed the video. I gave you a thumbs up, and
mm-hmm,
I'm subscribed to your channel, Egg Man. So I'm not
mm-hmm,
I'm not here talking shit and trying to shit on your video. I
mm-hmm,
just we just wanted to share our opinion on it. I think what you had to say was important and made sense. But I just like I was saying earlier, I just feel like we shouldn't have a rule for it. Like it just shouldn't exist. And
exactly,
if it does get out of hand, then maybe we'll take it into consideration, and maybe you did have what you were saying was correct, right?
yeah. And yeah, and that's I guess that's pretty much a wrap for that topic, which kind of leads me to something that I wanted to share, and it's some of the drama. Have you been upkeeping with what's been going on with the community as of late?
Other than there was this weird I won't say car, but you know the after image. If someone had wrote down, well, someone wrote something on the post saying asking for a rule, and they're like, "Hey, does this card change my leader's color? Because it says your leader is red, and then you get to do the after image effect."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "How the hell did we all miss that?" It's this came out like set five. This is like we're like two sets ahead, and there's somebody just now spotting this.
Yeah.
So I thought it was funny. I mean, that's the only thing I've been seeing. But I don't know any drama. I mean, like I don't really read. I like to read shit that people post because people write a lot of dumb shit.
I agree. And sometimes reading it you'll be like, what am I getting myself into? But
But I'm sure
so basically
you get tagged in a lot of bullshit too. So unlike you,
yeah.
I'm not as popular as you in this community. So I don't have to worry about constantly getting tagged. So
Yeah. So basically, what's been going on is that we have a lot of people with different views and their take on players in the game. And there was one guy, his name is Frank Miller, post office dude, very cool
oh
dude
yeah yeah yeah
overall.
yeah yeah. I know that.
Yeah,
I
cool
love
guy,
I
cool
love his
guy.
videos. His videos are pretty funny. People always troll the shit out of him, dude.
Yeah,
Shout outs to
and
you,
we
man.
all know your distaste for Gogeta 7 drop.
Yeah,
Trust me, bro. We
you,
all know it.
you're the homie, dog.
Uh,
You're the homie. I'll keep it up, man. Keep it up.
so, what happened was that he actually had a really interesting, I guess, take on the community itself. He had a question, or more so of an observation. He stated that I noticed that a lot of the top players don't really like each other. And then he went into it a little bit more and
Is that
started
actually
kind of,
true?
well, okay. So I guess we could put things out in the air. There are individuals in this community that are not fond of one another or blatantly just don't like one another. So the misconception is that pro players or top players or good players, however you want to reference them, they don't like each other. No, it's only specific people who don't like certain individuals. So, like me, for example, I get along with probably a good 75 to 80% of the top players of the game. Now, the other portion, the smaller portion, these are individuals who have displayed discontent, who have displayed some sort of envy or some sort of hate towards me, in one shape or another. So the individuals that I haven't been getting along with at events or in general, I just don't really speak to them that much. And these are individuals like Joey Palladino. I've mentioned his name
What? You don't
before.
get
Yeah.
along with Joey?
Well, I mean, again, I'm not gonna say like he's an enemy or something. No, he's not. But he made statements and in his videos, and he, I guess, felt that I've said certain things about him indirectly, and there's just a lot of talk going around the town, and
Joey's the homie, man. It's part of my play group.
no, this again, there's nothing wrong with Mr. Palladino. As far as I guess outside the game, what I feel like the issue is when we go inside the game and we're kind of dissecting what the community is about and where players, I guess, stack up to one another or where players fit into the community. That's where we have some sort of division. And it's not just him. I just mentioned his name because individuals have asked me about him or have said, I noticed that Joey, every time he does like a profile of the top 16 decks that made it, we always know, Anthony, you're in the top 16. Shit, you're always in the finals for that matter. He always brushes you off. He won't say Anthony Hernandez. He'll say, oh, yeah, the Shenron deck. But then he'll name everyone else, so he tries to like kind of skim along or skip along
I
so that
mean,
he doesn't have to give
I
attention.
will say this, right? It could be maybe you have your channel. Everybody knows you have your channel all about you. If you guys don't know, Anthony has a channel called All About You. Subscribe. Um, so it's like I wouldn't want to do your deck profile if I already know you probably would be doing your own deck profile, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's how I feel about it. Like me, I have my own channel. I mean, I don't do DBS stuff as much. I will probably start doing more DBS stuff, but if I was doing a deck profile or even just talking about an event, I would probably skip players who I know have their own platform to share their stuff because then it's like I don't want to just have multiple of the same things out.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So
But
I
what
mean
I'm
that's
talking
how
about
I
the
see it. So
yeah.
you know,
But what I'm referring to more so is that it's a deck. It's the top 16 decks, as in like from a perspective of going on, let's say DBS decks or using Shenron's Lair, using their platform, and then discussing the decks that have been prominent within that top 16. So, giving you an example, let's say I were to do a review of the top 16 decks. I would say, hey, first place, Jordan Markle. He played Toa. And in his Toa list, as you can see, he's running the skill list engine. And we start dissecting his deck and talking about the event and talking
gotcha,
about
gotcha,
his
gotcha.
experience. All of a sudden, it goes down to Anthony Hernandez. Instead of Anthony Hernandez, oh yeah, we have Shenron. Yeah, typical Shenron deck. Yeah, whatever, whatever, blah blah blah. Next, and then we have this person and that person and the next and the next. So what I mean is that it's a sense of individuals have noticed that he just skims along, specifically me. Not in the sense that he's not like he's gonna go up to me and say, hey Anthony, can I get a deck profile of you and put it up on the channel? No, because like you said, we all know we have our own platforms, vice versa. When he topped, I'm not gonna go to him and say, hey, can I throw your deck profile on my channel? Unless he wanted to, maybe that would be an option. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
obviously
no
I would
doubt, no doubt,
expect,
no doubt.
yeah.
I mean,
So
I don't know. I don't know if there's any bad blood between you guys, but you know.
yeah, but now we're gonna get into the juicy part because
Oh,
this is kind of
oh,
where the drama sets in. So the reason why I mentioned him is because there are certain group chats, and these group chats are amongst the some of the notable players or notable figures in the community. And I'm gonna start naming a few names. People such as Richard Zapp, and we know who he is. We all know Richard Zapp. We all know Pat O'Neill. We all know some of these
yo,
players.
what up,
You know,
Pat?
Pat is a cool dude. And every time I see him, we talk. I'll give him a pound or a hug. And actually, recently we all went out. The last event that I attended, we went out for Matthew Coombs' birthday. I think we went to Applebee's, and we all had a good chat and
Yo,
hanged out. It was
I,
cool.
I don't remember the last time I seen Pat. I think the last time I seen Pat was like in Long Island, New York.
Wow, and that was ages ago.
Yes, dude. I think we were playing Naruto, so that's the last time I seen Pat. I talk to
Oh
Pat every
God,
once in a while, but
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's been a hot minute, and I noticed that the cool thing about the Dragon Ball Super card game is most of the Naruto players actually went into Dragon Ball Super, which is ironic because, it's not something that we or I believe anyone in particular thought this was going to be a thing. It just kind of happened,
you know,
and
I think a lot of us hoped that it was going to be a Naruto clone,
yes, I think you are correct.
and
And
then
and it's different. It's different,
so you
but
buy
it
it, you
gives
you
us
bought the product in hopes that it was going to be a Naruto clone, and then you're like, it's not a clone, but it's it's different. But
it's
it's not it's
different.
it's not bad, but and then you start messing with it. It wasn't a bad game, but
Yeah.
it had a lot of hey, this is kind of like Naruto, but it's not. But I'm gonna try. I mean, that's what it is for me. I was like, oh, the prizes? Yeah, everybody know about battle rewards,
Yeah, that exactly. We all know about battle. Oh wait, but it's in reverse. You start off with your battle rewards instead of winning your battle reward.
right? No one went to attack. No one went to take damage. That's Naruto. Uh
That's Naruto,
huh.
exactly. And
Yeah.
and that's the cool part because that was one of the main functions of the game: knowing when to defend your village, which is your life, and knowing when to just take it. So that's a great aspect because I feel like the Naruto skills, the skills that you got from playing that previous game, did do a good transition
Oh
to
yeah, for
Dragon Ball
sure, for
Super.
sure.
So again, now we're kind of jumping right into the drama aspect. So there are a lot of people in these chats, but the main people on these chats are some of the individuals that I just named.
Now, when you say
Now,
chats, you mean like, are you talking about
like special group messenger chats where
like
it's like,
Discord
like
or
for
stuff
example,
like
me and
that?
you, we could start a group chat and it's just me, you, and I can invite Eric,
Oh,
Dion.
okay. You're talking like those Facebook chats.
Yeah, a Facebook
Oh,
chat, a
I
messenger
gotcha,
chat.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I got a couple of those. But I got you. I know
Yeah,
exactly what you're saying.
yeah. So you got your own clique, you have your own. And some of these chats are even in Reddit. Same thing. If you go on Reddit, you have your own little list of people that you can hang out with on there.
I've never touched
And
that
same thing with
wormhole that is
Discord.
Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit, Discord. I mean, we got multiple platforms where people can kind of communicate and kind of keep track of whatever you want to keep track of,
Got it, got
together
it.
as a
All
group.
right,
So
carry on.
diving into it, Joey Palladino made a statement. And the statement, obviously, someone was able to give me this information, so just letting you guys know, Richard Zapp and a bunch of you guys that have these chats that you believe are secluded to yourselves or amongst yourselves, know that you have some spies, people that obviously, fucks with your boy, Anthony. And, they obviously saw certain things that were said and they decided to share with me, whether they were messaging me, telling me about the situation, or just straight up screenshots like, hey, Anthony, look what they said about you this time around, So in these chats, I was able to gather quite a bit of information, and there's multiple chats, by the way. But in this one particular chat, Joey Palladino said something along the lines that if I play Anthony Hernandez, I'm going to immediately call Judge and have his sleeves and have his deck list counted. So specifically Anthony Hernandez. It doesn't matter who else you play.
I'm
Doesn't matter
I'm
who
just
else.
saying it. I'm about to check your deck though. I'm just that's count them.
Yeah.
I'm just busting your balls, dog.
No, I know. But these are some of the things that lead to drama, leads to conflict within the community or outside of the community, so to speak. So when I caught wind of this message, this is when I started becoming a little like anti-Palladino, and in chronological order. This occurred first, then I started to talk about Joey not directly but indirectly, where I would make certain responses when I would go live in my videos, and I would say, certain players, they have large Patreons, but they are not doing so well in the game, and they're trying to gain clout or gain recognition off of someone else's brand,
Shit,
and I used to
I
say
need to get a
certain things in
Patreon
that.
myself.
Yeah. And just to put things actually to perspective or to light, I have a Patreon, Joey has a Patreon, Matthew Coombs, and quite a few others, but the most lucrative, I guess you could say, Patreons are the three of us. We have the three that I just named, myself, Matthew, and Joey. And I won't even count PPG because I believe they have a Patreon, but that's a whole company.
Yeah,
I'm
that's not
gonna
even
go
it's
based on
not even fair.
individual.
Yeah, yeah, that's not even
Yeah.
fair to compete against the company.
Exactly.
It's like
Well,
saying, hey, look,
ironically,
GameStop has
sadly,
a
I think we're
Patreon.
doing
Like
better
that's
than
not fair.
PPG anyways, but it's not a competition between, individuals. Like, I believe that Patreon is an outlet that you use for information that you want to share with people who want to learn from you. Simple, you know. But I noticed that certain individuals, and I'm gonna start naming a few names, like Eggman, he again, great video, man. I enjoyed it. But there have been plenty of times that Eggman would take shots at me. And when I mean shots, I mean like direct shots. I mean like, well, like for example, he did the top 16 for AC, the one that I won the $4,000. And in
Yeah,
the pro,
congrats.
yeah, and in that invitational event, he for ARG, he basically stated, well, we have Anthony Hernandez. He won with Broly HOM into Victory Strike. It appears that he had 48 cards listed in his deck. Well, I guess he must have played 48 cards until the judge in Top Cut told him that he had to take 2 cards from his sideboard and throw into his main deck so that he could have a full 50. He said something along those lines. And he says, well, I guess if the judge thinks that's okay, well, then I guess it's okay. While some other people can may believe that that's more of a cheating nature or illegal. Apparently the judge said it was okay, so I guess it works, right? So this is kind of the matter that he talks. Now, obviously, I'm not mimicking word for word of what he said, but I'm kind of throwing my own personality and giving you an idea of the message he conveyed to
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
viewers. So when you have a guy like Eggman saying that, and let's say 1,000 people see that, or 2,000 people see that,
Yeah, when you have
you
a
know,
nice following, uh,
yeah,
yeah,
so what's your take on that? If someone like that says something without knowing the details and just makes a blatant response indicating that potentially Anthony Hernandez is cheating, what's your take on that? How would you view that if
I mean,
let's say it was you,
if I heard that,
or
I mean, I'm gonna leave the personal bias aside because, like I said,
yes.
I've
Okay.
known you for many years. Um, look, if someone's telling me that you have 48 cards in your deck and you're cheating, then uh, and this is a guy who seems like I don't know Eggman personally, but
Mhm.
he doesn't seem like a bad person. He doesn't seem like a person that was trying to make people out to be the bad guy. From what I watched, some of his I don't watch all his videos, but I watch some of his stuff. So if I was to hear that, I'd be like, damn, my nigga Ant be cheating, huh?
Yeah, right. Especially if you're a new player. Imagine you're new to the game and you're trying to seek information and you see Eggman and then you see All About You and then
Correct.
Eggman is referring to All About You and All About You is Anthony Hernandez.
Yeah,
Well, that means you're insinuating Anthony Hernandez cheats. Well, that means that All About You is a cheater. That means I shouldn't be watching that channel.
correct.
You know, I shouldn't be subscribing to that channel, and I should definitely not be supporting that person's Patreon. Um, so these are things that factor in some of the drama, the indirect damage that occurs. So the reason why I mention some of these cats is because they have started to build a foundation off of basically throwing shots. Now these shots are sometimes very minimal where you can look up at their videos and check it for yourself. So anyone listening to this chat, if you believe that this is not true, or if you believe that, I never really listened to him say something like that, go over that AC video and see the type of how he
I'm actually
explains it.
gonna watch that right after. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Like I
It's
said,
just food for thought.
I don't really watch a lot of videos. Sometimes Joey posts videos of like, hey, these are the top cut decks, and I watch it, but
Yeah.
I don't watch deck profiles. I could care less about that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And occasionally, I watch something like the Edmang one. I was like, good. A lot of people was, was there. I got tagged into to that post. So I'm like, if I got
Yeah.
tagged, I gotta watch it. Like,
Hmm.
I wasted my time to come to this post. I'm gonna have
No,
to watch it.
definitely. Definitely,
So yeah,
and it was a good
I'll definitely
video.
watch it and see if you said it in bad taste or you said it, in a,
Yeah. So now going back to this situation. Now in the comment section below, obviously, I will browse the comments and I see comments of people, saying, "Oh, well, yeah, AH is a cheater. Thank you, Eggman, for, letting us know this," or things of that nature in the comment section below. Now, some of these things I see that he'll like. He'll like some of these comments. So obviously, I'm observant. I'm seeing the type of things people are liking. I'm seeing the type of things that people are talking about. So if indirectly you're throwing a jab at me, but then someone is like, "Well, thank you for making us aware of this cheater," and you like that comment, what are you doing? You're implicating straight up that yes, Anthony Hernandez is a cheater. And one time I tagged him in a post. I actually kind of went live and I told him straight up, next time, why don't you just say straight up that you believe I'm a cheater? And his response to me was at that point in time was that, well, I'm unsure if you cheat, but you do things in a shady manner. I will say, if I believe you are cheating, I will let you know you're cheating. But again, indirect, you're throwing shots at me. These shots are affecting my subscribers, they're affecting my Patreon, but they're boosting your boy Joey Palladino because they're part of this little Trinity force where I believe it's like Joey, Eggman, counter, one counter, or counter something, counter combos, or combos, yeah. No counter, no combos, something like that. Sorry.
I've never
You
heard of
know,
that. No counters, no combos.
yeah. But
Sorry
and
guys for
sorry,
not
man.
knowing who you guys are.
Yeah, I kind of got tongue twisted with you guys, but I actually was in one of their podcasts before, and the guy seems cool. So again, nothing towards that person, but there's like again like this little force, this group of people that they support one another, and that's great. That's great to have support where other channels are like, hey, we got, subscribe to my boy Eggman, subscribe to my boy Joey, subscribe to my boy No Counters, No Combos. They're all kind of like supporting one another to help each other grow. And it's been something that is very useful and it's been working for them. Since they were smaller channels, right now, Joey has like over 3,000 subs. Eggman has over 2,000. No Counter, no close to 3,000 or somewhere around that. So they're all growing by helping one another out. And that's great. Like, power of friendship, go for it. However, this club tends to throw shots at Anthony Hernandez All About You. And All About You is a channel that has been around from the beginning of the game. Not someone that came around a year later, not someone that came 6 months later. No, I've been around from the beginning of the game. So my channel is obviously much larger than theirs. But I noticed that my growth every day or week by week, I noticed that my subs haven't been growing, or if they grow, I'm losing subs. And I'm losing subs every time I see one of these negative comments or negative videos where they implicate that I'm a cheater in their videos. I noticed that I'll lose some Patreons or I'll lose some subscribers. And it's obvious. It's like the day that they're released, I start losing. I wonder why I'm losing. It's a very interesting, I guess observation, but it just becomes a point where they're boosting one another up while taking me down slowly, but they don't want to start a war with me. No one out there is, has the balls enough to like say, no, Anthony Hernandez is a cheater. We're gonna stick with that.
I mean,
No,
I
it's
think
like low key.
I think what needs to be done. You are gonna have to somehow get in a chat or sit down together and talk and squash this out. I mean, that's the only way this whole thing can be resolved. Because it seems
Yeah.
like it's not just one little thing. It just seems like a
Oh no.
whole thing's piled together.
Oh, it's pretty
Uh,
big. It's
and
we
I'm
got
sure
group
I'm
chats
I'm
with
sure
other
we
individuals.
could be here all night talking about this. You threw me a curveball, and Jesus Christ,
Bro,
that was
it's
one
like
hell of a curveball.
literally if we use Naruto terms, imagine the Great Ninja War. I'm Madara, and we got all the United Nations, going up
Yeah, it's
against
it's
Madara.
like you stopped this meteor, but what about the second one? Boy, can you stop? Jeez. Oh
Hmm.
man, that's I don't know. I really don't. It's hard for me to say anything without sounding like I'm picking sides, right? Like I said,
Yeah,
I'm cool with Joey. I fucks with Joey, man. That's my
yeah,
boy.
of course. I'm not saying he's a bad dude. One of my friends, Danny Wynn. He was a Patreon of mine for multiple months, like 3 to 4 months. Actually, one of the highest tier Patreons. And he wanted to elevate his game, and we used to meet up and test play. And this guy, he was able to do so well at events. And obviously, I'm not going to put all the credit on me. No, he put in the work.
Oh
He
yeah,
was the one who went out of his way to travel to meet up with me to actually play in person.
yeah, of
Like
course.
the guy
I mean,
was
that's
very
the
ambitious.
only way you're gonna get better. If you're not gonna put in the work or the lab time, you're not gonna get better. You're
Yeah,
not. I mean,
absolutely.
you might be a skill player, but you're gonna start making a lot of mistakes because
Correct.
you didn't put the reps. You know.
Exactly. You didn't put in the reps and you gain confidence with the reps, which is a whole nother conversation. But, confidence is very key in all aspects of life. And especially if you're trying to become a consistent, good player in a game, you have to not be afraid of losing. You have to not be afraid of your own play lines. Like if you feel like a play line's correct, don't second guess yourself. You know what you're doing. You should know what you're doing at this point. Play like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, because
But,
like
yeah,
I play the game, but I don't play at a high level. I don't play with these high level tournaments. I don't really
correct.
travel. I mean, I would love to travel, but work tells me no, bro. You can't
Yeah.
travel. You got to work.
It's like, bro, no, you can't be doing
Yeah,
that.
you old motherfucker. Stay at your job. Stay your lane. And so because I don't travel and go to these big events like I did for Naruto, I don't put the reps. And I when I play sometimes, I'm like, I just made a dumbass misplay.
Yeah. And
So
it happens. It happens.
that
That
goes to show
happens
you
when
that
you
you
don't get the reps in.
correct. You got to put in the reps. Because when I used to play Naruto, I played Naruto like even at work. I used to play Naruto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro, you're the people you worked with were Naruto players. Like that was sweet.
yeah,
You were with Joe Pro Cologne, one of the best players.
And
like
so yeah, we would play, and then like I'll go to the events, and I wouldn't make no misplays. Like I
hmm
played perfect. This guy just played better that day, or this match.
yeah,
And so it's definitely there. Like, there's a lot of truth to putting in the work, putting the rep. And so yeah, a guy who was your Patreon, who
yeah. He
he
put
put
in
in
the
the
work.
work. So
Yeah,
definitely make, and you play better when you play with good players. Let's be serious. If I play with a bunch of scrubs, I'm gonna be the best scrub. I'm I'm not gonna be
I like how you said that, but it's true.
yeah.
It's true. You'll be the best out of that group, but you may not be on par with any other player that's considered good or as actually good.
Like
You know.
when I play Smash at the house, I'm probably the best Smash player in my house.
hmm
But that's it. If I go
Now
to one,
go up against MKLeo or Sam
yeah, if he's
Sora,
gonna smash me,
and
I'm like, yeah, why? Because I know when Smash 4 came out, and I was playing the game for 2 months. I was playing with my cousin. I'm over here practicing, putting it in the lab. I thought, I was like, yo, I'm pretty good. And I went and I played in my first event. I won my first two matches. Then I played against this dude, Mars. You know,
wow,
yeah,
Mars is a good one.
yeah. I didn't know that. This is new. I don't know who Mars is.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, he's good. He's a good player. This guy 3-star the shit out of me. I've
And
never
mind you,
got
you're good.
yeah.
You're good from your play group, but this guy is on another level.
I never got beat that bad. And after that, I was just like, all right, I gotta take one stock off this kid. And he used to be from my area, so I used to play with him a lot.
Oh, that's awesome. So guys and girls, we got a little share and tell on the Smash Bros community. And but the reason why I mentioned Danny is because Danny's very cool with Joey. And again, so it's like we have a
Danny.
mutual friend,
I
me and
think I
Joey.
know Danny.
Yeah.
I think he comes and
He's
play in
an
our area.
Asian, relatively like short guy, cool guy, very nice. Sometimes wears
Was that the guy who
glasses.
played this Super Shenron deck?
Yes,
Okay. Oh
yes,
yeah, so he does come to my play area and play. He's a cool
yes.
dude. Yeah, I like him.
Cool guy, one of the best, players that I've met as far as personality. And, but the reason why again I mentioned him is because he's very good friends with Joey. In fact, he goes to Joey's house. Like
Yeah, he
he's
does.
that
Yeah,
cool with Joey. He chills with him. So, it just shows you that someone like Danny, despite how his friends may feel, he still came and decided, you know what? Well, I know a lot of people say a lot of things about Anthony, but I'm gonna actually see what Anthony's about. Let me actually get to know this guy. Let me test play with him. Let me see if I can beat him. If I can beat him, then I don't need to join his Patreon. And no offense, obviously when we played, I was smashing him. And he realized like, oh shit, no, Anthony's the real deal. And that was the good point because you wouldn't join someone's Patreon if you're able to smash them in the game. Like
oh
that
yeah.
just wouldn't make any sense, right?
I,
So you're
I,
just trying to learn. You're
I,
not,
I wouldn't join nobody's Patreon.
well, no, 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 obviously, but
I know
I'm
it's
just saying,
not.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna join, if let's say you are gonna spend money, it's like practicing or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like taking dance
If
lessons,
if you're
like
gonna spend money, spend it from the
spend
best.
money with
Yeah,
someone
get
that can definitely elevate you
it's
in
like
that
buying a phone.
field.
You're gonna buy a phone, buy the best phone you can then buy.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Get your money's
Again,
worth.
not taking away from Joey Palladino, but Joey Palladino had a Patreon. Why did Danny not go to Joey Palladino's Patreon? They're boys. Why didn't he? He went to Anthony Hernandez because he already understood there's a big level. There's a difference. There's a gap. There's a gap between myself and Joey. Now, obviously, Joey has done pretty well in the game. Joey has a few tops under his belt. He has the event that I won at AC, he made third place. That's freaking good. Like Joey, you did phenomenal. And I even made a post, and I believe I didn't tag him in it, but I said in my video, I was like, Joey Palladino, great top. That was something that is for the books. But is Joey a consistent player? No, he's not. Is he someone that's knowledgeable in the game? Yes, he is. Is he the best in the game? Far from it. But when we go based off of why people join certain people's brands, or in this case Patreons, where people are actually investing money, from my perspective, if you're going to invest money in someone, you're going to invest money in someone that is obviously going to be able to teach you and help you learn and grow. Now, like what I said, Eggman, Joey, and like this little Trinity force with other individuals involved, like even Richard Zapp and a few other people have said things about me, that I did not like, and they're in group chats, and I have proof and individuals telling me these things. You know, this is where it comes to a situation where it's like, well, you guys are kind of like taking from Anthony Hernandez because you're portraying me as a cheater. So, despite these skills that I have in the game, it doesn't matter if newer players are coming to you because they believe I'm a cheater. So, newer players, a lot of people who come into the game or that are seeking knowledge in the game, they want to go to the best. That's just human nature. Like if I want to become a really good dancer, I'm going to do my research and see who can really teach me the best to become a good dancer. If I'm trying to get into fitness and I'm not even though I'm a personal trainer, but let's say I wasn't and I was just someone fresh out of becoming, I was super overweight or super skinny, and I'm like, you know what, I want to get brolic, I want to get in shape, I want to get fit.
Yeah,
Who the heck am I going to contact?
you'll
I'm
contact the guy who can give you the results.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to contact a second rate or third rate person. I'm going to go to the best one. Now, don't get me wrong. If I can't afford it, let's say it's about affording. If I can't afford the best, then I'll dim down to someone else that has good reviews
The
and that I can
second best,
afford.
right?
Exactly.
The,
That's when you start hitting the second and third
the
and
most
fourth. And
affordable.
yeah, most affordable. But you still want to do your research to get the best bang for your buck, you know?
It's like I can't
But
afford Chick-fil-A today,
but
so
we'll go for our Popeyes. We're going for our Popeyes and that
I'm gonna get
broken
this. I'm gonna
sandwich.
get this McChicken.
Yeah, or McChicken, fuck it, right? But it's true, it's just knowing what you need to do in order to get what you need, what you want, what you want to get. But now the thing is that, again, sadly, and the reason why I'm saying this is because this is how I feel personally, and it doesn't seem like I'm wrong about this topic. I feel like these guys, the ones that I already spoke about, they throw shots at me and they're starting to grow from throwing shots at me. So again, it's like you're growing from, people don't want to come to me because they now believe I'm a cheater because they have started to imprint this in their minds from the beginning of these people joining the game, or even players that have been playing for a while and decide, hey, I want to get better at the game. They start going to these people because they believe I'm a cheater. And this sucks because the people that are on my Patreon, they know what it is. Like, they're learning. They're actually getting better and they're putting up results. Danny Wynn puts up results. Christopher, I can start naming people from my Patreon that put up results, that are doing very well in the game through some of my guidance. Are they putting in the work? Yes. But I'm just leading them there. I'm like I said, this is what I told my Patreons. I'm your tool. Use these resources as much as you can while you're on here so that you can accelerate your gameplay. Now, obviously, people from, all these other Patreons, they probably are learning. And I'm not going to discredit these guys because they have their own game. They're running their own game. But at the end of the day, I don't like when people are jabbing me and taking potential customers away from me, because what if these individuals that joined you wanted the best, but they're afraid to join me because they believe I'm a cheater? What then? They're obviously not going to join me. And believe it or not, Mardo, I had two guys from that previous month, literally one guy in a chat with another Patreon of mine. The Patreon told me that the reason, he's like, hey, Ant, just wanted to let you know so and so left the Patreon because he believes you're a cheater. Don't worry, bro. I'm sticking around. I'm just letting you know. What kind of shit is that? So you
Yo,
left my Patreon because you believe I'm a cheater? That's some crazy shit, you know? And now you're taking away from my pockets because this is my job essentially, and now you're actually taking food out, you're taking money out of my pocket. So now it became personal. Now if you thought I was a cheater, or if you had these negative feelings towards me, it's cool, keep it to yourself, keep it within your group. But when you start throwing shots indirectly and you start in your YouTube comment section, start basically liking and approving these posts of people saying that I'm a cheater, nah, bro. Like now we're throwing hands, and I don't mean physical, but we now we got a problem. You know.
mm-mm. I feel you, man. I'll be butthurt too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
You know. And now these screenshots, like I kind of touched up on the whole drama section. because a lot of individuals are waiting for these screenshots. These screenshots are from the things that I've said. Some of these things that I already disclosed on this chat, ladies and gentlemen, there are screenshots that indicate all these things are accurate or all these things are true. And if you don't believe me, you can also further just look at some of the YouTube videos. I highly doubt any of them are going to take them down just for a few things that they said negatively about me, But look at these videos, and you know it. You can look at the comment section below and you'll see AH the cheater, this and that. And then you'll see likes by Eggman or
I,
likes
I
by
I
Joe.
have a question for you, right?
Yeah.
Um, so there was this thing going around where I don't know where I got it. I got wind of it. I'm not gonna mention
Okay.
anybody's names because I don't fucking remember. But people were saying that you actually triple sleeved one of your cards, which is the Victory Strike.
Oh, I know. That was a hot topic right after AC.
Was
Um
that something that actually happened, or did you?
oh, no. Didn't happen. Actually, funny story. Which I actually disclosed it right after the event because I already knew what was up. So there's this one guy. I actually can't remember his name. He's just so irrelevant that I don't remember his
I didn't
name. And
even know
I'm
you
not
could
trying to
triple sleeve, to be honest.
No, well, you're not. Well, you're not. From my understanding, you're only allowed up to double sleeving,
You know, but
based
I
on
didn't know
bandai
that
rules.
triple sleeving, like you could actually triple sleeve a card. Like yo,
Oh, well, you
where,
could use like a penny sleeve.
like where
You
did you
know.
find this sleeve at?
No, it's a penny sleeve. A
Okay.
penny sleeve can go over the card, and
Yeah,
then now you
yeah.
put the card in
Okay,
a
okay.
regular sleeve, and then
Got
the
it, got
sleeve
it.
over a double. All
Uh,
right. But anyways, what happened was, towards the end of the event, I'm chilling with Jordan Markle, Dalen Mack, and a few others. But this one hater
big
that I
boy.
I know him, huh?
I was like, big boy.
Yeah, Dalen Mack, doing big things right now in the Ravens. He's holding the team down. So, and then big boy from Jordan Markle. So, we got these people. I'm chilling with them. We're having a good talk. And I tell Dalen, because I ask him a question. I'm like, hey, Dalen, what's your favorite card in the game? And I believe he tells me Gotenks. And I'm like, well, I don't run Gotenks in none of my decks. Do you like Ultra Instinct Goku? Do you like Goku? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I like Goku. I'm like, would you mind signing my VS, my Victory Strike? And he's like, oh man, I don't know if I could do that. That card is the most expensive card in the game. I'm like, Dalen, you're a freaking football player doing big moves. God, you're gonna be damn well making $1 million a year. Come on. And not for nothing, again, he's actually one of my Patreons. And I'll throw that out there because I don't think he minds about that. But, again, Dalen Mack, another person, exceptional person in real life and a very good card player. But obviously, he's still learning, he's still trying to get better. So, I ask him, hey, can you sign it? He's kind of deterrent on it. Then he tells me, he's like, you know what? I'll tell you what. Why don't you, if I'll sign over it over like a sleeve? And I'm like, all right, that works. That works. So what I do is I leave the area. Now, mind you, there's one of these guys. I forgot his name, but he's a straight up hater. I've seen this guy in a lot of events. He goes to quite a few events, and I know how he looks. This guy is the one guy that online he makes alternate accounts, but I know it's him because I have had people point out that individual, like,
Oh,
oh
so
yeah, Anthony,
he's the
yeah.
worm.
Oh, he's the worm. He's
Oh
the worm or the
no,
scum,
no.
whatever you wanna
Jeez.
list on him. So this guy, I know he's around. So I'm like, I'm about to fuck with this guy. So because I'm tight that he's even around me. Like, dude, you're a hater. You don't like me. Why are you even around me? I don't even get it. But he's trying to like fit in with the crowd. Like he sees
That's
me,
what
Jordan,
worms
Dalen.
do.
Yeah, that's what worms do. So he's doing his worm shit. I leave the area, and in my mind, I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me get a penny sleeve. I carry penny sleeves in my bag because when I pick up any new cards, I put them in a penny sleeve and I put them in a
I got a
binder if I
couple of
have
pen
them.
sleeves in my bag, so
Yeah,
I
I
carry them
carry
too.
them.
Yeah.
So I go to the front and I pick up the marker from Vince McMahon. I said Vince, from Vince, and I'm thinking of wrestling over here, guys. But so I go up to Vince and I get the marker, and right before I go to the table, I'm like, you know what? let me sleeve my victory strike right now. So I sleeve it. I take it out of the sleeve. I put the penny sleeve over it, and then I put it right in the sleeve. And it's double sleeve because I have the other sleeve on top. So we got a triple sleeve thing going on. So I come to the area. The hater is right there. Jordan, Dalen, and a few others are there. And I'm like, Dalen, here, sign my victory strike. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna need you to take it out of the sleeve. Like he doesn't even want to take it out. I'm like, all right, I take it out and I'm like, here, it's already in a penny sleeve. And I'm like, hey, and then I see Jordan. Jordan looks at me and Jordan notices, wait a minute, isn't that three sleeves? But he doesn't say nothing. Jordan just peeps it. And so then I say something because I know the haters right there. I'm like, yeah, I triple sleeve my victory strike. I want to make sure it's protected, well protected. I say some bullshit like that. And so I see the hater. The dude looks, his eyes like goes wide open, and the dude starts pacing around. Like he kind of like slowly leaves the area, but he's still there. But
Oh
he's like,
man.
oh shit, like I got this guy. I got him. I got him. He's a cheater. So it's hilarious. So I got to fuck with him real good. So basically what happens is
Motherfucker
Dalen,
had the fishing rod. He was ready to hook you in.
yo, yo, so Dalen ends up signing over the penny sleeve, and then I end up putting everything out, and so that's that. All of a sudden, I kid you not, bro, I'm still in the venue. Less than an hour later, I see people posting Anthony Hernandez triple sleeve.
I
Then
think I
Richard
think
Zapp hits
that's
me
I
up.
think that's where I seen it. I think I was like, dog. When I seen that, I was laughing my ass off. I was like, yo, he better not have did that. Like, don't tell me he did that. Don't. Oh my
Yo,
god.
bro,
And
it was so funny. But anyways, so that happens, and I'm like, damn, we're not even on the road. I'm like, this nigga got to work. So it's so funny. So after this, Richard Zapp hits me up, but he hits me up while I'm on the car ride home. And Richard Zapp, he sends me. He's like, hey man, just wanted to hit you up. I'm a part of some groups, and in one of the groups or in a few of the groups, it's actually spiraling out of control. They're basically talking about how you triple sleeved your victory strike. I hope that's not true, man. I'm not trying to start any drama. Just want to clear things up with you because you just came off from a successful win. People saw how well you played in that during your match, and it would suck if it's tarnished by by anything being true like this. So Richard coming at me, and Richard posted something firsthand before he even hit me up. He was one of the first people to kind of post something negative about me. And then Eric Hill, I think, was the one who got him to take it down. Like Eric was like, yo, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, if there's a problem, why don't you hit up Anthony directly? Like, why are you doing that shit? Like. And so then Richard ends up hitting me up. But of course, anytime someone feels like they have something on me or believes that I've done something, it blows out of proportion.
of
Oh,
course,
AH.
look, man.
Oh, shit.
It, so when I was watching the stream, not too long ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was watching the stream. There weren't really much. No one much people watching that stream. The second you got on stream, it went from like 100 people to like 500 people watching the stream.
Goddamn.
So
Goddamn.
you kind of like you're popping, dog. I'm just I don't mean to sound like someone who's kissing your ass. I'm not kissing
Nah,
your
nah.
ass,
I
but
know what you mean, man.
it's just
Yeah.
like, hey, look, he did something. We finally got him. Yeah, pitchforks. Let's go. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I was telling them, get your pitchforks here. Get your I was
Get your
telling
$5,
right.
$5 for a pitchfork. Get
I,
the pitchfork.
I was telling some pitchforks too. I want to see what the fuck's going on. Like shit. But I heard that I was like, man, this dumbass.
Man, but it was sweet though. The sweet part about it was
and
to
but
know that I was 100% correct that this person was gonna do what I knew, like because I like it's like for a split second I was like because this guy irks me. Like it's like a strong dislike.
oh
This
yeah,
is one of the people that I have a dislike with because this dude is very like he has never really talked with me, but he's always around me. He watches my matches. Oh, that's another thing. This guy I've caught standing behind me on my matches in Swiss rounds. This is one of these cats that he's just like, fuck Dragon Ball Super. It's all about AH. I want to catch this nigga cheating. And literally, that's like his mission in life. I think he wakes up every morning saying, "I gotta catch this nigga. I gotta be the
He's
first
plot.
one."
And
You know,
he got his
like,
own little bat cave. We call it
yo, but
AH.
it's so funny. It's so funny. And I'm just like, yo, like, I can't believe that there are players in this game that they're not even
And
concerned about Dragon Ball Super. They're
it's
now
not just
concerned about
people. It's
actual players.
Yeah, it's not just players. It's people like that in general. There are people who
Oh,
are.
yeah, but I never experienced that before, bro. Like,
Oh man,
even in Naruto, I had, well, you already know the type of shit that I
hey
went through with
man,
Naruto.
you a
But the
legend in
hate is
Naruto.
crazy in this one.
You're a legend in Naruto, not for the right reason.
I know, not for, again, not for the right
Not
reasons,
for
and
the
it's the
right
same thing in
reason.
this game, not for the right reasons.
But see,
You know,
when you played Naruto, you didn't have the I'm the bad guy attitude.
no, not in
No,
that game.
no, not
Nope.
at all. You were more of the calm, cool
Mm-hmm.
kind of guy. But look, everybody who played Naruto pretty much cheated. Let's be real. If not
Oh well,
cheated,
we know a lot of things that
if
went
not
down in
cheated,
Naruto. We could have a whole
there's
conversation.
so much collusion in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a, like, to me, collusion is common practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, if me and you go to the finals, I'm like, bro, it's we if we split the prizing, we both
Yeah.
plus.
Oh, I know. And that happens in a lot of events. But it's so funny because when it happens with people that people like, it's not spoken about. When it happens with people that people dislike, oh, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh, yo, you know who did this? Like, not for nothing, Scott Dashy, one of our pals. We all go way back.
Oh yeah, man,
You know,
Mr.
Scott
Holbrook.
Dashy, in Naruto, that was nothing. If he wanted a top, he would pay it. Simple. And there was nothing wrong with it because everyone was like all cool with one
I
another.
mean, but
You know,
the pricing was decent enough that if you paid for
give up $50, give up $100, and have the chance to win three, four, $500 in value. Yeah, like,
the pricing on that game. Actually, this is something I want to talk about.
okay,
Let's forget
go
about
for
all
it.
this drama thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think people were talking about pricing, and how do you feel the pricing is in this game? And people were like, hey, they're comparing pricing for like Magic and Pokemon, and I'm like, those games are like super established. I'm not even gonna even compare. Even Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm not even gonna compare. I think Joey did a video on Yu-Gi-Oh pricing versus Dragon Ball Super pricing.
I think Dragon Ball Super right now is doing pretty good. But pretty good in one area or one aspect, and then terrible in other aspects. But
So
yeah,
I
we
was
could
like, you
talk
know
about
what?
it.
I'm not gonna compare established game versus a game that's only 2 years old.
Yeah, can't do a comparison.
Let me compare a game that Bondi already made to a game that Bondi, just two Bondi games.
Yeah.
How do you feel the pricing was for Naruto versus Dragon Ball Super?
Um, Naruto. All right, so I guess we would have to break up a certain time frame. So at a certain point, prizing was essentially a trophy, a winner's mat, a PS3, or if you came in like second place, like the latest iPhone of that generation during
Well,
that period of time.
let's talk about the last year of Naruto, or the second to last year. From that
Second to last year.
starting from second to last year, right? Because
It
that's
was,
when the increase in pricing happened.
yes. Um, Prizing was pretty decent. It was decent as long as you didn't have to drop a lot of money for traveling. It was good. Like, if you could go get to one of these major events for, let's say, under $100, or maybe even not, let's just say, just not over, like, just not too much, like around $100 or maybe a little bit more, but nothing too crazy. And if you could split with your friends or whoever is going with you on the trip, even better. Being able to get the price support as far as the cards, because they also had the card support, being able to get like a whole set of specific cards, foil, that was great.
Yeah,
That,
I remember when like they had like top four would get complete foil sets
oh,
of.
it was great, bro. It was great. I remember when I played against Joe in the finals. I ended up, even though Joe felt like he plussed out more than me because he got specific foils that were just happened to be worth. He got like the set 21 cards.
Yeah.
The set 21 cards were popping. I got the set 22 cards.
Oh,
So
sorry
the
for your
set
loss.
21, he had all the banging cards at that point, because that was when I think the ban list during that point wasn't hardcore, because then later on the ban list did hurt a lot of set 21.
So,
But
but
yeah.
like, do you feel like if Super did something like that, the pricing would be better? Because like,
Uh,
I'm reading the stuff and I'm like, yo, I feel like Super doesn't give you enough product. Like,
no, they don't. They
I
at
feel
best
like
for yeah.
like yes, money is always great. I will, yeah, give me money. But I feel like if they gave you product and a good amount of it, you would be. I mean, I would be alright with it. I wouldn't mind going to an event, and if I when I get 5 boxes, yeah, I'll take 5 boxes.
I agree. But now, this is all right. So this is the problem with boxes in Dragon Ball Super versus Naruto. In Naruto, I felt like boxes had way more value.
Well, of
And the
course, because
main
you
reasons
have
why,
4 super rares in a box.
exactly. 4 super rares in a box. And mind you, that was upgraded. If we go way back, we were only working with 2.
Yeah.
So, you know, that super rares were as scarce or scarce, however you want to pronounce it, as can be. Super rares were super rare. Like
So I
in
went.
the words itself, you knew what a
You can
super
get a
rare
case
was.
in Naruto. You won't even guarantee to get 3 of every single
Bro,
card foil.
it was bad. Bad in the sense that it was hard to obtain the cards you needed.
So yeah.
You needed to either buy singles and spend actual money, like
So
spend a
that
good amount of money.
that is a big difference.
Yes. In Dragon Ball Super, hey, crack open a box. You got 8 supers, maybe 9. Oh, you popped off a secret rare. Oh, you got an SPR, my dude. Like, I'm like, oh wow, that's
So you
cool
feel
in
like
one box.
even if they increased the product, it wouldn't be worth it.
It's just the value isn't there. You're giving me too much. Like, slow your roll. You know what Rock would say? Slow your roll. Like you gotta make sure that your boxes can maintain value. If your boxes are not maintaining value due to the quantity of super rares, and basically where they're going wrong is they're distributing X amount of cards that are supposedly high rarity. They're giving too much of it, too much of the high rarity cards. No,
I mean,
you gotta.
I don't think that's the case, right? And just hear me out.
Okay,
I
you
think
you, you let me know.
I think the problem we're having with is that there's too much product, and then so like the set will come out, and now we're gonna get this anniversary set, and now some of the stuff in
Okay.
this set's gonna be useless because the anniversary cards are gonna overshadow some of these things, and things are coming out so fast. New cards are coming out so fast
Yeah,
that
that's a whole nother conversation right there.
it's hard for a set to keep its value when something else is gonna be even more busted, and you want to buy this new stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Kaioken.
Mm-hmm.
That card is ridiculous, but I guarantee you, in a month or two,
Next set, that card won't mean shit.
correct. Whereas in other games, you got to wait a whole 3 months, or and even if those 3 months, you might not find something that's more broken than Kaioken.
No,
So
in
you got to wait
fact, with
another
Naruto,
3 more months.
yeah, no, and not to cut you off, but in Naruto, what was good about it? Let's say set 1 to like freaking set 11 or 12. Um, we APW Kakashi Battle Reward. Kakashi Battle Reward came out in set 2, Coils of the Snake.
Yeah.
All right, that Kakashi was so badass that he lasted through set 3, set 4, set 5, set 6, set 7.
Yeah.
This dude had value. He started off as a $40 card, $50 card, 60, 70, 90, 100. This guy was just unstoppable. When APW was released, God tier, the market just blew up. The market crashed. Like that shit just that shit just exploded. APW, when he came out, bro, the rulings, the amount of power
well,
this guy
he
had.
was the victory strike of that
He
game.
was godly, bro.
So,
Godly. You summon APW and you like, I'm spanking your ass. Oh,
but
I got priority. Attacker got priority, bro. What's up? Swing out. Swing out. I dare you. I dare you. Block. I got you, man. Like, oh, you didn't block? Oh, 8 trigrams. Bounce your third Okage. You ain't getting that. Put that as a BR, my homie. Let me get my shit. Let me get my shit back.
but
Like,
yeah, and I
come on,
like
bro. It was
I just feel like the product comes out too fast. I think a new product comes out too fast, and I also dislike promos. I hate
I do too.
I
I'm in
dislike
agreement with you.
exclusive promos.
Yes,
I
the
don't.
exclusive promos
So
I don't like. If you
I
want to
don't.
make a promo out of a bean that already exists, more power to
Alright,
you.
so
It adds flavor.
I don't
You know.
mind exclusive promos if I can purchase it.
Yes.
I hate exclusive promos like championship pack stuff.
Yes.
Like I can't purchase that. I have to go to an event that I might not be able to go to. So if I want to play this deck, I really can't play it unless I spend this much money in the secondhand market. You are a company and you want to make money. You don't make money out of the secondhand market. You make money out of whatever you sell, right? So why
Mm-hmm.
don't you just have it in your products where people can just buy this tin or whatever, like you did, how they did the gift box and have these exclusive promos be in there. And
Exactly.
like
Yep.
how they're doing this other card. What are the Fat Veku and the other promos that are coming out now reprinted. I
Yes.
feel like that's something that should have done from the get go. I don't like the dash pack. I hate the dash pack idea. I think it's the most dumbest shit.
Yeah. Which actually, that's what created value in the beginning of this game, but it was also like the downfall of the game as
I feel
well.
like
Like
if you're gonna do a dash pack, make it a special, maybe foiling or special foiling of reprinted cards that are in that set. And I'm cool
yeah.
with that. I'm like, all right, cool. So now the dash packs are worth money if you get this specific cool Kaioken foiling, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Like the world peace, they came out with the world peace, the super combos. That's dope.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't rely yes, these come out in a specific type of pack, but it doesn't your decks, you don't compromise, or you don't have to worry about obtaining these cards because you could just buy them in regular
Like
sets.
when I seen the championship card, like the Vegeta, I was like, oh my god, because I had a mirror deck. I had a black mirror deck. I thought it was pretty cool, but it was the meta was way too fast for it. And I'm like, this Vegeta's gonna be nasty for this deck. And I found it's a championship pack, and I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna get this
That
fucking card. I'm
sucked.
not gonna
That
get this
really
card.
sucked.
I can't play the deck, so I gave up on it. I've been gave up on it until it came out, and that now it made it even worse.
I know.
I'm not gonna spend that much money on a card. I just can't see myself spending that much money on a card. It's
Yeah, it can't be dropping $40 like it's nothing
it's like for
on
what?
one copy. That's just one.
$40 for what? For like next month it beats shit because something else comes out way better? Nah.
And again, that goes back to what you just said. The release of product. It needs to slow down. First of all, it gives players a break from having to spend a lot of money because they could focus in, let's say only every 3 months we had something. And don't get me wrong, you could have some exclusive stuff coming out every once in a while, like maybe once every 6 months, or once like
What's the name of that the thing what they had the Gogeta and the Age of Destruction the hell Janimba Age of
no, I
Destruction
know, I know.
Bojack.
It's an expansion pack, or I forgot. Yeah, like
I'm
it's
cool.
basically an
I'm cool
expansion
with
pack.
that. I'm so for it. That
Yes,
idea
I
was
agree.
great because not only did I get some exclusive promos, I got some packs.
Yes.
I'm with it. I'm getting product. I'm cool. I can buy. I can go to my
And it's
fucking
not an arm and a leg. You just
yeah.
got to spend like $10 to $12.
But
Just
it's something that I can go to a store and buy. I can go to Target and buy.
correct.
I didn't
Yeah.
have to go to this,
No.
fucking California for an event.
Oh hell no.
Like, like no, fuck that.
No, that's OD. But exactly.
So
But Marto,
Bandai, if you're listening to me as Bandai, please
for
fix that.
sure. Exactly, Vanda. That would definitely be very helpful. And but unfortunately, guys and girls, I gotta soon start wrapping this up because I have to start heading out. So, any I guess last words or any last topic you want to like touch upon before we start?
You know, there was been a lot of people crying recently. That's what I have seen. When you said drama, I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about the please ban this card, please ban that card. And one
Yes.
of the cards that people were crying for was objection.
Yes.
And I'm
Uh,
like, I don't think the card is worth banning. I think the card that's probably a problem was the card that people thought was a problem from the get go, which was World Peace.
yes. I do have to agree. So, objection is a card that it's an early way to ramp up to bigger threats in the game. That is strong. It does have a slight downside of having to go minus, but obviously, as sets progress, as decks evolved, going minus one card in hand when you could go plus several cards per turn doesn't really matter. So objection fits in those decks very well because you're not really losing card advantage to be able to ramp up. However, the card like World Peace. World Peace is a card that I feel like that shouldn't have been created. There's a lot of cards that shouldn't have been created, and I feel like the desire mechanic is a mechanic that is very abusable. There is hardly any middle ground with it. It's either you make a card that kind of sucks, like let's say Personal Ambition. Personal Ambition is just basically a generic draw card, restand an energy if you decide to use it for free. That is not a card that I would want to use a wish leader for. But then you create cards like World Peace, Child's Wish, the Assembling the Squad, these type of cards that if I use them for free, they give me a major advantage in the game because they allow me to completely manipulate what I can do in one turn.
Correct.
And free, as we all know in any card game, is what's best.
I mean,
If you could always play something free, that means that is you want to go down that direction. The least amount.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever played Force of Will, but Reflect, Reflame, and then there was to have these Regalia cards that you allow you to play for free, and that broke the game
Keyword
in
free.
half. So just stay away from free.
Exactly.
Free is
Stay
bad.
away. Stay away from free, or you're gonna make players free. So that's pretty much the moral of the story, at least for the design. I don't feel like World Peace. I would target World Peace in specific. I feel that in general, the mechanic just was a little too strong for the
I
design
mean,
of this
I'm
game.
not a big fan of banning cards. I'm more of a fan of neutering. Like, all right, it's at 4. Let's put it at 3. Oh, it's still broken.
I'm
Put it at
fine.
2.
Actually, I
Let's put
agree. I do agree of restricting cards, not completely banning them because then it's like, what was the point of creating it?
Yeah,
So
like Bardock. You think Bardock at 1 is going to break the game? I don't think so. I mean, you'd be the one.
no, I mean you
You'll
could
be a
successors for him and almost
yeah.
guarantee getting, unless he ends up in life. But at the end of the day, if that one Bardock got bloodlusted or was able to get KO'd with all these counter cards, there goes your one way of being able to start your game
That's
plan.
also another thing I want to talk about too. Before we
Yeah.
close this segment, how do you feel about cards coming off the ban list, especially with all these counterplay cards that are in the format right now?
I'm for it. I'm always for like one
Because
thing I can say, and I'm kind of like I guess drifting to another card game, but one thing that I do enjoy about Yu-Gi-Oh, because that's definitely one of the games we've all been there, done
oh
that
yeah,
at some
yeah,
point in time. You know,
some people come back because a card came back.
it's like an X. Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of like an X. So
Yeah,
it's there, it's lingering. You may sometime decide I want, but at this point Yu-Gi-Oh has this method where they're like, hey, well, every cycle, every certain amount of sets or even emergencies, they decide we're going to bring back cards from the ban list, or we're going to add cards onto the ban list, or we're going to restrict the quantity per whatever, decision they want to make.
yeah, they'll go
Now,
from ban
obviously,
to maybe at 1 or something like that.
yeah, and you go based on results. You go based on card interaction. So if a card interaction is too strong, you gotta neuter. You gotta neuter the combos. You gotta make sure that it's not overbearing because guess what? If you don't do so, then the whole format gets flooded with those specific decks that can utilize those combos. So you don't want that. Most objectives of card games are to have several decks playable at one instant. That's
Correct.
like the objective. If you cannot fulfill that objective, then you need to use a ban list or restriction list that can allow you to employ those values within the game.
I mean, I think
So
Bandai has done a good job so
they
far
are, they are.
because this format's actually, to
It's
me,
great.
it's a great
Actually, it's
format.
one of the best formats we've
You
had.
have the top 4 dogs. The top 4 decks.
Yes.
But then you got some other like 1.5 decks that can
Yeah.
actually beat this with some of these decks in certain
You got
matchups.
Lord
So
Slug coming in and slugging people out,
I mean,
and
Love Slug's
that to
always
me is
been an
not
annoying
even,
deck.
that's like, it is annoying, but it's annoying in a good way. Like,
Yeah,
that's actually amazing that you have like a tier 2 deck or a tier 1.5 deck that can be very annoying. It's matchup dependent, but it can be very annoying to go up against the deck, especially if you're playing one of the top, like the top 4, top 3 decks in the format, and it just happens to be that that's one of those bad matchups for you. Even though you're playing a top deck, it doesn't do so well against hand control offhand,
yeah,
off rip.
like if you were playing Janemba versus Slug, Janemba
Exactly.
probably
You're gonna have a
might
hard
lose.
time.
It's
Well, how are you gonna defend your life with no hand? Try it, and you're only getting critted.
it's
You're never seeing a card.
it's like a 3 and 7 in the Slug's favor versus Janemba matchup.
Yeah, like honestly, the only way I feel like the Janemba player wins is if the slug player draws poorly or plays poorly.
Yeah.
It has to be a mixture or a mixture of both. Like the game itself has to go wrong for the slug player. It's not even up to the Janemba player at
So
this
yeah,
point. It's up to the slug player.
so Bandai is definitely doing something a bit right. I just feel like they can definitely bring back some cards. Maybe not
I
not
agree.
at full value, but can definitely
No,
I,
if they
I think
won, they
I
could have
think
even bring
Goten.
back Goten.
Yeah,
They
I
could
think
bring back Goten at one. They could bring them. They could bring back. Well, in my I'm not gonna lie. There was times where I'm like, you know what? I kind of do want SS3 to come back, but SS3 probably will again warp the game only because he plays outside of the game.
yeah.
So you know, being able to say I could play my threats and objection for free on turn 1, and then additionally untap 3 at the end of the turn, it's like
Yeah, and
you're basically playing.
it's like
You don't need skill to play the deck.
you do what you want to do. You untap 3, and now you have enough for your counter plays. And now we have so much counter
Not
plays in
fair.
this game.
Not
Yeah,
fair.
no,
Like,
no, no.
nah. So
Quédate a cero.
he has to stay. Sadly, yes. I wanted him to come back. Like I said, guys,
I want
I
Cell to come
wanted
back.
him.
I definitely want
I
Cell to
want
come back.
Cell. If Cell came back, I'll be happy
Yeah, I don't.
because this counter plays to check him regardless. So
Yeah, I think
you know,
he suffers a lot. I don't think he's all that great. But it gives players other options to play.
yeah, you want to play Cell and tap 3 energy, and I play my counter for 2 and pop you. Go for it. Like it's a fair trade off for them to be able to go through a very strong
I mean,
combo or strong
I think
chain.
that's the reason why they made those cards. So let them shine. Bring back some of these cards that
Bring back,
were
yeah. Cell should be back at 4. Cell should just leave the list completely. Let the deck have consistency. Let androids come back at full force. Let them get their fun.
no.
It's sad to see that one of my favorite decks got neutered so heavy. And it got neutered even during the point that it got hit. It didn't even deserve to get hit, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
it
Like
was just weird.
it was one of those shockers. Like Bandai was just like they just threw it in there, and we were like, wait,
I was,
Cell?
when I
Like,
seen him get
huh?
hit, I was like, oh, they're coming out with some cell support.
Me
They
too. Me too. I'm
they
like, yo,
get
Cell is about to be broken. They're gonna come out with some
what
crazy
yeah
Android
what
shit,
they doing?
and nothing.
And
Nada.
four
Nada.
sets later, I'm still
I'm
like,
just
yo,
like,
what's
so
Cell at?
y'all just threw our boy. You guys threw our boy in prison,
Yeah,
and just was like,
they
you're
threw him
locked up, Cell.
in the blender, bro. Like,
No, bro. Nah, no. Well, he's at 1. He's at 1. He has some visitation rights and shit. But the dude is like, nah. We can't have that. We can't be having you drop
no,
hands. You dropping
dog.
people's souls
I
out
got
here.
one question for you, right? If you could
Yeah.
change any mechanic in this game, what would it be?
A mechanic, something that I probably, whew, I would probably have to go with. I would have to go with Overwhelm, probably. I feel like Overwhelm is too strong. It's a mechanic that they brought out during that little expansion series, starting off with Trunks and Mass Saiyan, Black Mass Saiyan, and I felt like when they brought those cards out, they were extremely impactful. If you did not get the expansion set during the time it was released, you were playing at a disadvantage. That's how good it was. Like, if you didn't have it for the first set of tournaments that occurred, you literally, like I said, were just playing at a complete
And you see,
disadvantage.
I don't mind Overwhelm, but I hate Overwhelm with no cost.
But that's the problem. Overwhelm is basically no cost. The way they designed it, it's more no cost. There's very few cards that actually have cost.
Yeah, because
There are
there's a
some, but
food that's
very few.
expensive. I think the food you were playing your deck, he's an
Yeah, he's
expensive
a
overrun.
monster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm
but it don't
okay.
matter when you could ramp up when I can bring him out on turn 3.
Uh,
If need be.
that's true, but you still had a cost. So I can't do the
Yeah,
playing mono green, right?
yeah,
That's what I'd say. Like I'm okay with overrun cards that have a good amount of cost, so it's not free.
yeah.
When it becomes free, like we said earlier, anything free is broken.
Yeah, and that's again, guys and girls, that's universal for all TCGs. So if Dragon Ball Super is your first card game, any other card game that you may venture into, anything that's free is normally not healthy for the game because it just will employ people to want to play free. It's like, why spend money when it's free?
Yeah,
Imagine going to a restaurant and you could go and eat for free. Why would you rather go to another restaurant and pay for it? No, you're just
facts.
gonna go for free, right?
It's not. If I could change anything in this game, it would be active main. If a card said active main, you should be able to play it on either player's turn.
I like that. That's how a lot of games, like for example, EOJ for Naruto. Sorry, I'm using Naruto, guys, but there were certain phases that were shared by both players. So EOJ was like a
Even the
battle
mission phase,
phase,
there were cards that said during the
and
mission phase
yes,
you do
yeah, they
this.
would say counter mission, and it would be that simple. There were counters that were able to be played during the
Because I feel like if they changed that, shitty cards would be
would
so
become
much.
actually playable.
A
Yeah.
card like TN would be a little scary sometimes.
Oh, he would. He definitely would.
He's like, oh look,
I agree.
you swinging at me? I'll pay the 2 energy and get a 10k boost. And now, if you try to play something, I'm gonna pop it.
Yep. It's like active main. Ha! Take 2 life. Pop.
Uh, Whatever you try to play, I'm a pop it. You better deal with me right now before I pop it.
That would be that would be dope. That would be so dope.
When I first played the game, that's how I played it. So Frieza, the Golden Frieza, was obnoxious because
Oh, of course,
it
because
was just
you got so many tools to use.
it was just killing his guys on your turn and untapping energy. You're like, oh damn, this card's nuts.
Yep.
And when I was playing the Vegeta that takes a life,
Yep.
he takes
But
the life to Papa Dude. I think that would be something great if they did something, or maybe like introduce cards that say either player's turn.
no, I absolutely agree with that.
But I think we've been talking for a long time. I think I don't even know how long we've been talking. So I'm gonna cut this short, my man.
No,
It's getting
definitely,
late. It's like
definitely.
2 o'clock in the morning.
I know. We getting there. We getting to that late time. So I hope, guys and girls, you enjoyed the discussions. Again, I'm not really coming at anybody. Obviously, I named some names, and I did say that I was gonna like put people on blast. I know some people want to see that. I had conversations with a little bit more mature individuals, and I'm probably not going to do that just yet because I'm not trying to start a war, even though I feel like starting it. When I get angry or get annoyed, I'm usually the first one to like try to start a shitstorm. So,
That's
you
that's
know,
that's New York in you, man.
that's the New York in me. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna calm down a bit. Right now you guys heard what I needed to say about certain topics. If any of you guys that I mentioned want to reach out to me, by all means, like what Mardo said, we can have a chat, maybe a discussion, settle things. Again, you can have your own personal opinions on me as a player. You can believe what you want to believe, but again, do not mess with another man's pockets. That's where I feel like you guys draw the line, or that's where the line should be
I
drawn.
mean,
And
and maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe they didn't know the impact that they would have
I'm
by saying that.
gonna, all right, I could say they didn't, but I believe they did.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I'm gonna say they did, at least not the people that are not a part of Patreon. I'm gonna say more so the individuals that have their own Patreon because they already know the growth that they've been receiving by this backlash. When there's a backlash on a player or a business, imagine a business. Let's say right now, McDonald's, McDonald's and
Oh,
Burger
yeah,
King.
yeah,
There was a back and forth thing at one point in time. And imagine now Burger King is like, yo, McDonald's, they're using old food, they're using this. We believe that we have suspicion that they are doing these things. And this comes a statement from this big franchise. Now, what's gonna happen? indirectly, people are going to be like, whoa, 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 we can't be going to McDonald's. Like, what? Well, yeah, they have some food that's there's stuff going on. No, we're going to BK. We're going to go to BK.
Nails?
Yeah, so like Jay, so exactly. So like someone like Joey and some of the other people that I mentioned, they're building, their Patreon is building up, their subscriber count is building up, but you're building up on someone else's downfall essentially. And it's a downfall with like basically misinformation and blatantly just stating your opinions as if they are facts. Now you may not be coming at the person saying, straight up, I believe this person's a cheater. But when you throw those implications and you start liking the comments and posts of individuals saying, yeah, I'm glad I stood away from this cheater, and you like it, you're confirming that. So it doesn't take I don't have to be a smartass. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that your implications are still indirectly stating that I'm a cheater. And I don't need to hear it out of your mouth to say, yes, Anthony Hernandez is a cheater for these X, Y, and Z reasons. No, just the way you move, the way you talk about me, and the way you like and carry around your comments and your own, their own brands, their own, their channels, that says enough, and that's from my perspective.
Yeah. Well, guys, we plan on doing this at least once a week. This one was something that we just threw together last minute. So we want to make it more organized, probably a shorter time with the
Yeah.
schedule how we do things. Also, if you guys want to, if you have any topics for us to talk about, let us know on the comments below. We'll definitely add it to our next podcast when we do this, and we'll probably try to do it at live stream. I mean, I'm more of a live stream kind of guy. And I like to read feedback. I like to read
Yeah, it's
comments.
easier to communicate with what people want to listen to, and we
Correct,
could
correct.
yeah.
I'm not really a big fan of pre-recorded stuff. I like everything on the fly. I like. To me, it's always fun when I make a mistake. People catch it right away. It's hilarious. I like to see that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
so definitely, leave a comment down below if any topics you guys want to hear. Especially 'cause there's always stuff going on in this community. This community is, to me, it's like it's a great community, but at the same time, it's so damn toxic. I love
Yeah. You
it.
got drama all the time, so there's always something to talk about.
Well, guys, this is
So
Mario for Sigma Gaming. I'm out, and I'll catch you on the next one, my brother.
sounds good, guys. See you in the next.
Don't forget to subscribe.